But the one they're keeping is like, it's one of those scruffy, wise, old looking dogs that has the goatee and the crazy fuzzy. He's so cute. All right. Sandra on? She's on. Hi, Sandra. Grab a couple blocks if you got some blocks for tonight. You got your blocks. Excellent. All right, just a comfortable seat wherever you guys are at. It's just fine. Happy Friday. Just sit and breathe for a few moments. Take a few movements through your shoulders. A lot of movement through your breath, through your rib cage, your abdomen, upper chest, side ribs. And just notice your breath. There are times in our lives where, taking a deep breath doesn't always feel the best. And we become very acutely aware of that. And it allows us to enjoy all the more when that deep breath feels healthy and abundant. So as you sit and breathe, just take a moment to consider perhaps someone in your life that could use a little extra breath and love and strength. And take a few more breaths to send that their way. And then just a tilt of your left ear over toward your left shoulder. You're going to turn your chin down a little as well. And then take the left hand over to the opposite side of your neck, over to the right side of your neck. And just lay your hand there, a little bit of a squeeze through the hand. Allow your arm to hang in a supported position as much as you can. So just kind of gripping onto your neck lightly, taking just a couple more breaths. Okay. And this next breath that you take it in and hold at the top ever so briefly, and then exhale that breath out. And as you do, release your hand, lift the head, turn gently just side to side. Take a breath or two as you turn. And then you're going to tilt right ear over to right shoulder. You're going to take a turn down of your chin, and then hand comes over to the other side of your neck. Come on in. Welcome, welcome. Grab a couple of blocks, if you would, from this shelf over in the corner. Take your next deep breath in all the way to the top. Hold it ever so briefly, and then exhale it out. And then release. Let your hand come down. Once again, just take a turn of your head in each direction. Maybe tilt, maybe semicircle, chin to chest, ear to shoulder. And then just lifting the chin ever so slightly. Rather than letting the head fall back, I want you to think of lifting and broadening the chest, lifting your chin, just opening a little more space at the front of your throat. One more deep inhale, exhale it all the way out as you bring your head to neutral. Hands joined together in Anjali Mudra at heart. Next inhale, stretch both hands up high. And as you exhale, widen your arms out and down to land at the floor. Now lean a little bit more over to the right. Walk your right hand farther away from you. Stretch your left arm up high. You'll have to focus just a little bit more to bring the breath in. Make any adjustments that you need to. If dialing the torso down is a little more comfortable, please take that adjustment. And then reach your way back up, drifting your left arm down and out. One breath in, one breath out. And then walk your left hand over, lean in that direction. Reach up, stretch up high through your right. And again, make any adjustments that you might need to change and shift the stretch or accommodate the breath to move in more easily to your body. And then pull your way back to center, drift your hand down low. Now take notice of your breathing once again. Maybe no huge dramatic differences, but hopefully at least a subtle shift in the right direction of breathing easy, breathing freely, breathing intentionally. Let's transition to our tabletop, or all fours from there. Just sliding your way up so that your hands are right under your shoulders, knees are right under the hips. Now we're gonna soften our torso down. So the abdomen's gonna come down, the chest is gonna lift up, and our chin's gonna raise ever so slightly. So taking your cow position first, take a breath in. And then go really slowly here, starting at your tail, tuck and roll the spine into an exaggerated cat stretch as you breathe out. Now soften back into that cow position. Inhale. And articulate through the spine. Exhale, cat stretch. One more time, take an inhale, lower the abdomen, lift your chest and your chin. And then exhale into that exaggerated cat stretch. Press the hips back perhaps a little bit or a lot, all the way back to the heels or hovering just above them to create more length, more space, more stretch for the discs between your vertebrae. And wherever you land, take one more breath. And then come on back up to your table, tuck your toes, lift up, downward facing dog. Now let this shape tell you a lot. Let it inform you of the state of your body. So move, pedal, bend your knees alternately, kind of shift your hips. Nice, good. Great job. Take just a couple more breaths here. And then widen your hands out a little wide. You've got really broad shoulders. That's going to feel a little more comfortable. And then just take a slow trip up, feet to hands. Walk your way toward the top of your mat. Set your feet in to a nice, comfortable, confident stance, and then fingertips up high on the shins. This first round, let's go a little higher than halfway on our breath in. And then move forward into your fold with your breath out. Let your arms and head hang heavy. Then bend your knees a little bit more. Roll your way all the way up to a stand. Shoulders are the last thing to draw back. And then lift your arms skyward. Reach for the sky. Take a breath in. Join your hands together. Exhale them down to heart. Close your eyes. Continue to breathe deeply. Feel your feet, your legs. Reach straight up through the crown of your head. Soften the shoulders down from your ears. And with your eyes closed, hands held at heart, body weight pretty evenly between the feet, I want you to take a lean to the right. So just pressing down on the feet and leaning your torso, creating a big C curve through the torso over to the right. Pull your way back to center, take a breath. And then press down into your feet, stretch up as tall as you can, and then lean over to the left. Come all the way back to center. Bend your knees, just kind of back and forth. And then push down through the feet, open your eyes, release your hands, take a strong breath in, reach up tall. Come forward into your fold, breathe out. Now lift halfway, you can bring the fingers to the shins again or leave them at the floor, and then empty your breath out, come back into that stretch. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Just as you did in that downward dog, you might want to take some alternate bends to your knee, just kind of back and forth. You can always lift your hands to shins or blocks. And then we'll bring our body weight over into our right foot to step the left foot straight back long into lunge. Walk your hands back so they frame that front foot. Again, blocks under hands are a great option here. Keep your back knee lifted, and then just take some simple stretches, pressing the hips back, straightening the legs, and then rolling your way forward into lunge again. Feel free to stop and stay and breathe in any point along this spectrum between lunge and splits. And then the next time that you do come into lunge, we're going to make our way up to high lunge so that you can walk your hands up to your thigh or just raise the arms high overhead. Come into Anjane Asana. Go ahead, bend your elbows, slide the arms down and forward just enough that you can see your forearms and hands kind of in the peripheral vision. Stay low and strong through the legs. Take a deep inhale, raise your hands high. Now as you exhale, the right hand's gonna come down and back, left hand's gonna pull forward, stretch your arms out to a T, and once you have your arms set, recommit to the bend in your right knee and a little bend in the back knee as well. Now we're gonna take a transition to a low twist. So your left hand's gonna come back down to the floor or a block, right hand is gonna stretch up high to the sky. Find your breath, feel it. And then release. Right hand comes down. You're gonna step forward, back to the top of your mat. Find that half lift, draw your breath in, empty it out as you fold forward. Stand tall, stretch your hands high overhead. And then lower the hands back down to heart. Close your eyes, slow your breathing. And then relax your hands down near your side. So the palms of your hands come in nice and close, just as a gentle contact point to your outer thighs or hips. Keep your eyes closed just as you did before. You're gonna do a little lean over to the right, back to center, and then lean to the left. You're letting your fingertips slide down the length of your outer leg. Exhale as you lean, inhale as you come up. Now lean your way back over to the right. Open your eyes, good. Turn your gaze slightly up, draw the shoulder back, and then come all the way back to center. Do the same, lean over, open your eyes, maybe turn the gaze slightly, ever so slightly up, anchor into both feet, come all the way back up, close your eyes, breathe deep. And then forward and upward overhead with the hands, deep inhale, wide dive forward as you exhale. Halfway lift, draw your breath in, exhale it out. Stay there just for a breath. Lift a little bit, body weight's gonna shift into that left foot so that your right foot steps way back into lunge. So hands will be at either side of that left foot on blocks or the floor, and then just begin that process of straightening the legs, rebending your knee, just moving back and forth. The next time that you come into that lunge, we are going to lift up from it. So you're welcome to raise the hands right away or kind of use that thigh as a stepping stone and then stretch both hands high overhead. Good. Gorgeous. Take an inhale and then exhale, prana mudra. Just bend your elbows, sliding the arms into that peripheral vision at either side. Just a nice softening of the shoulders. Maybe a magical wiggle of your fingers as well. Jazz hands of sorts. And then go up high to your hands again. As you breathe out, the left hand's going to come back. You stretch the right hand forward. Excellent. Good. And then we tick-tock forward. Right hand lands at the floor. Left hand goes high. Good. I think you're on the opposite foot, but I don't know. No worries. Yeah, no worries at all. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And release. Now this time, instead of stepping forward, let's step back into plank pose. So sit your hands at the top of the mat. Reach your feet back long. Broaden your hands. Get more active, outstretching through your fingers to actually pull some of that effort and compression out of your wrists. Keep your sights set slightly out ahead of you, either with your knees lifted or lowering them down. Take one more breath in. Use your exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, Cobra, or upward facing dog. And when you are ready, on a breath out, come into down dog. And then just draw in that next inhale. Let it go. And then take a little shift down to a kneeling seat or a child's pose. I want to give you those two options, whichever is best for your body to replenish, to recover, to rejuvenate. To slow and quiet your breathing, but still generating enough of a touch point to the sound and shape of your breath to keep you right here, present. And then moving from kneeling or child's pose to your tabletop position once again. We're going to start with an extension back of our right leg. And we're going to move into barred gate pose. So you're going to pick up your left foot, you're going to bring it over to the side of your mat, and then you'll just open your way up high through your right hand. Feel your right foot making good, solid contact to the floor, back behind you. And then bring your right arm down to the horizon. So you're just going to bring it straight out from the shoulder, hand hovering, kind of like you're magically holding a ball of energy beneath the palm. And then slide the right arm alongside your right ear. Keep anchoring into your right foot. Now turn your way back to tabletop, back at center, slide those knees back in under the hips, roll a little bit through cat and cow, but then right away go to a barrel roll. So you're gonna swoop your whole torso around in a big circle, go a couple times in one direction and a couple times in the other. And then come back to a neutral spine. Left leg is gonna go back. Right foot's gonna come over, and then we just open our way up to barred gate pose. Yes, make good solid contact of your left foot. Left hand goes high. Good, catch your breath. And then just bring that left arm down to the horizon. So it's just kind of straight out in front of you, hovering, and then slide the arm alongside the ear. Good, yes, that's it. One more breath and release. Bring yourself back to center. Take another round of those barrel rolls. And just really get into that connection with those teeny tiny muscles between each rib. Your intercostal muscles, external and internal. Downward facing dog. So with your awareness kind of held there at the rib cage and the torso, as you lift up into downward facing dog, I want you to put a fairly dramatic bend in your knees. So I want you to take your heels high, bend your knees, send your rump back a little further and up slightly. And then take a tiny, tiny little shimmy of the hips to the right and a breath. And then hips to the left and a breath. Look forward, travel your feet toward the top of your mat. Now we'll want to come up extra slow here. So hands to the shins, breathe in and out. Hands to the thighs, rise a little bit more, breathe in and out. And then finally, we land in that full upright position. Please return your stance to full upright position. Hands land to the top of your thighs, shoulders draw back, chin lifts. And we open ourselves up as much as possible for that full deep breath. Now slide your hands back to that space at the outer thighs. Open your eyes, take a glance down toward your feet. Shift your feet in close together, just a little bit of space between the inner heel. And then you're gonna hang on to your legs as you sit down into your chair pose. So you're gonna hang on to them nice and tight, and you're gonna lift your torso up. Draw your thighs down. And then slide the hands to the top of your thighs. Now press your thighs away, arms lengthen out to their fullest. And then we just float our arms up. Thumbs come up. Arms slide up and gaze lifts just a little higher. Now stand tall, reach up, shift your body weight over into your right foot, hover the left, lift up high. And just as you did in that lunge, you're gonna take a breath in, and as you exhale, your left arm will come down, back and behind you. Pull forward through the right fingertips. Now bring your right hand to hold on to your left leg. Come out of your rotation and allow your left hand to join the right. Hug your leg in a little tighter, a little closer. Keep on breathing. Now the transition from here will be to warrior three. So you're gonna let go of that leg as you start to reach it back. You're gonna bring the hands together or bring the arms out wide and find that balance. Balancing stick. Now, if you can imagine a walking stick, a lot of you know what I'm referring to. A walking stick, embrace that energy, lengthen out. Pyramid pose from there, just landing your left foot back behind. Take a sweep and a stretch of your arms up high, and then join the hands together and exhale your hands down to heart. Now pull the hips back, start to hinge forward, bring your torso to that parallel position, grab those blocks if you'd like to set them beneath each hand, and really work to pull that right hip crease back to anchor into both feet, and then ease into the stretch, any which space that you can find. Thank you, Paul. Thanks for locking the door. Okay, now grounded warrior three from here. So you may want to slide those blocks a little further out in front of you as you make that transition to lift your left leg once again. And we'll ask a lot of our core strength here as we start to hover our hands away from the blocks to the floor, back to heart, and all the way back to that starting point. Lifting the knee high. Take one more breath in. Exhale. Allow your foot to land. March your feet. Swing sway your arms. Close your eyes. Settle down into both feet. Maybe rock your body weight, toes, heels, until you are ready to land. Now take a stretch of your arms up high. Just reach up as high as you can through your fingertips. Lift your gaze a little bit, open your eyes there, and then arms to a T. Take a breath in, stretch the arms out wide. As you breathe out, pull the palms together in front of you. Inhale, body weight toward your toes, arms spread wide. Exhale, body weight toward your heels. One more time. Lean forward out into the world. draw back from it. Good. Inhale, lift up. Now take a forward fold between that sequence on our two sides. Just let your body relax into the stretch. You can always stop a little higher than that if you'd like to. And then slide your hands up to your thighs. Slowly lift. You're going to work your feet in close. Take your hands to your thighs. Grab hold of your legs as you sit down into your chair. Slide the hands forward. Get your legs into a nice solid position. And then you're just going to drift your arms up. Rotate the palms toward one another. Raise your arms. Raise your gaze. And then as we stand tall, we press down. Body weight's going to shift now into our left foot. And we begin to hover our right leg. Yes. And don't forget, there is nothing wrong with a toe touching down to the floor if you need it. Your right arm is going to come back and behind you. Yep. Twisting, reaching, breathing. The left hand comes to support at your right knee. We close the door of our right arm, turn our chest back to center. Grab hold of that leg, give it a little tighter hug. Stand as tall as you can. Find your breath first, and then just kind of pass your leg back into warrior three. And find your level, find your walking stick position. And if you know anything about walking sticks, now they are very jointy as well, right? They bend where they need to bend. Step lightly back to pyramid pose. Take a stretch of your arms up over high. Take a breath in. Hands come together and right down through midline. And then as you're ready, slowly start to draw the hips back. Release your hands down. Find those blocks and stretch out over your front leg. Nice. And just working to extend as much as you can through that front leg. So those blocks can go to any height that they need to pull that full extension through the front leg. Hip crease draws back, and then just relax into the stretch any way that you can. Little sound and shape to your breath that is your very own. And just take a little time to feel what changes it might create to put more pressure into your right foot, the stance of that leg, or more pressure into the left foot. Start to bend your front knee, work those blocks a little farther out in front of you, launch your right leg up. Tap into your core strength. And a little secret here is sometimes a bend in our left knee can make all the difference. Hands to heart. You got it. Be willing to wobble. Come all the way forward, back to that initial position that you found yourself in. Take a breath and then exhale. Return your foot down. March your feet. Feel that sense of relief, hopefully. Let your arms swing, sway. Forward, backward, alternating the cross of the wrist in front of you. A rock of the body weight, toes to heels. And with your eyes closed this time, place your hands onto your hips. In a position of joyful empowerment. Kind of empowerment that you're going to make a very positive difference in the world. And you're going to go from that stance of empowerment to an interlace of your hands, palms of the hands on top of your head, wearing your hand hat. And then with your next inhale, Drift your hands up high off of your head. Unlace the fingers, open your eyes, and dive forward slowly into your stretch. Spend a few breaths there. And then place your hands to the top of your mat. Let's move back into plank pose. Excuse me. And we are going to come down onto our knees. Take a moment to lift your chest as though you're kind of pulling the chest through the space of your arms. Land your gaze a little farther out in front of you than you would be in a high plank position. Take an inhale and then lower just a couple of inches as you exhale. Press away from the floor, hug your arms in tight. Notice the gaze lowers down just a little bit. Now re-extend the arms back to that high position. Take a breath in, go all the way down onto your abdomen. Now untuck your toes, take the tops of your feet down to the mat behind you. Slide your hands a little farther forward, but keep them in close. You're going to lift your way up slowly toward cobra. You're going to lift your way up a little higher, hug the arms in nice and tight. You decide how far you want to go. If it doesn't quite feel right, you lower, you slide your hands a little farther in front of you, and then rise again. Finding just the right spot for seal pose. And then lower down onto your forearms. Slide the hands into stack as a little pillow beneath your forehead. Bend your right knee. Leave your left hand in place as a pillow and grab hold of your right foot behind you for a quad stretch. Now you can also do this in a sideline position. So whichever one gives you more of an ability to take hold of your foot. One more very slow breath in. Exhale it fully out. And then release your right leg out long. Take your time to switch sides. The right hand comes in as a little pillow. The left hand moves back. Bend your left knee. Take hold of your foot. Keeping our quad stretch very, very simple today. Either here prone or rolling to the right side of your body to catch hold of your foot. One more very slow and steady breath. And release. Now bring your hands back near the shoulders, but straight out, a little broader this time. You're going to come into a cobra position, a nice sustainable lift, strong through the hands. Lift your gaze, draw the shoulders back onto your back. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands come back in. Lift your way through kneeling or full plank to downward facing dog. Once you come to downward dog, you're going to raise the right leg high, and we're going to stay there for a few breaths. So as you lift that right leg, I want you to feel the stretch that occurs through the left leg, from all the way the sole of the foot, up the length of the leg, into the hip. Keep breathing, keep broadening your hands. Take one more inhale, and then step that right foot forward to warrior one. Come all the way up. Now in warrior one, we're going to take our arms straight out in front of us. Now turn the palms of the hands down, and then bend your elbows, again having this kind of magical energy of balls of energy right under your hands, hovering, palming those basketballs of energy. And then you're going to reach out ahead of you again, but this time lean out ahead of you, still imagining that you have those two basketballs. Widen your arms, still have the basketballs. Now you're holding the basketballs, touching one another. Lift your way back up. Take a breath in, and then prana mudra. Exhale, drop the basketball, just flip them out of the way. Good. Release your hands down low. As you come back to downward dog, I want you to bring that right leg up once again, this time with an opening through the hip, a lift of your right knee, still attentive to pressing down through the left heel behind you. And then release all the way back down to center and all the way back to kneeling or child's pose. I want you to choose the option that allows you to rejuvenate, to slow your breathing, to stay engaged in your practice. Take one more breath. Come all the way back to your tabletop. Come back into downward dog, and then raise your left leg high. So go slow enough that you feel that sustainable, healthy end point for you. That you just get a good stretch, you get a challenge of lifting your leg, and really no further than that, so that you can keep breathing. One more inhale. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Anchor the back foot into place. Go high with your hands. And then just bring your arms down to hover. The palms of the hands are down. We've got these basketballs in our hands. We're going to bend our elbows, hang on to those basketballs. And then as you reach forward, you're leaning forward, really gripping on, hanging on to that energy beneath your hands. Good. Raise your hands up high. Take an inhale, prana mudra, and then get rid of the basketballs, throw them away. Yep. Inhale once more, and exhale, release your hands down low. Three-legged downward dog. Turn the hip open. And then release your left foot down to the ground. And we're going to come down to our hands and our knees, just so that we can get to our backs. So I actually want you guys to have your feet toward this wall and just kind of recline back onto your back. We're going to do kind of a silly little sequence here. It's actually called the baby sequence. So come down onto your back and just place the soles of your feet onto your mat in a nice, comfortable resting position. And then from there, we're going to take the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide. Most of you are familiar with this bound angle position, but you're going to stack your right foot into your left foot if that is comfortable for you. You're going to bring your arms out to kind of a cactus position. Now, if you could catch an image of yourself from above, you would know that a baby is a professional at this position, often for sleeping. Take a couple of breaths. Notice how your feet feel. Chances are there's a little bony prominence of one foot pressing into a bony prominence of another. You might have to slide around, readjust. We're going to hold our feet just like that. If you're having any knee pain, I want you to get up, grab those blocks and put them where they're going to be under your thighs, because we're going to do a little bit with this. So if you are having knee pain, I do want you to grab those and put them where they're going to support your outer thighs. So leave your legs just as they are. You're going to come onto the pivot point of your upper arms and elbows, point your fingertips skyward so they have these goalpost arms. And then just our left hand's going to come down to the floor, palm of the hand down to the floor, and the right hand back of the hand's going to come back. And then you're going to lift both fingertips straight up, and then you're going to take the left hand back and the right hand down. Just kind of feeling how your rotation of your shoulders is. And then both hands come up high. We release our arms back to that cactus position. Engage your inner thighs to lift your knees up over your hips, untangle your feet, and just bring the legs together with bent knees. Separate the legs. Think about which foot was on top and then lower the legs down to that butterfly or bounding position, but with the other foot on top. And this is one of the few postures that we actually do let our ankles kind of stretch and sickle. There should be no pain though. Doesn't mean that there's not a little discomfort. Now bring both sets of fingertips up, just pivoting on the upper arm and elbow. Now we're going to try to press both hands down toward the floor. This is a really tough one for me personally. It may not be as tough for you. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then lift your hands up and bring them back to that goalpost position. Engage your inner thighs. Lift up, bring the knees together right over the hips, thighs in, legs in, bent knees. And then just set your feet back down onto the floor. Slide your arms down alongside of you. Pull the knees in, wrap your arms around them, and then just curl your nose up toward your knees. Good. So just doing a little flexion through the spine. And then slowly moving to extension. You're going to stretch your body out, reach your legs out long, bring your arms up alongside your ears. And then you're going to scoot your body to the right side of your mat. Now you can only imagine why we're doing this, but you're going to scoot over so that you're sitting on the right side of your mat and you have a little real estate of mat over to your left. Now you can glance here first. It might be helpful so you can see this and follow along if you dare. But we're going to move to super baby. So we're going to take flexion through the spine. We're going to do this here, right? We're going to go to extension. We're going to go back to flexion. Then we're going to go to extension and roll over to super baby. And then you're going to roll back onto your back. Pull your knees to your chest. Breathe a couple of deep breaths. If your baby wasn't as super as you were hoping that it might be, no worries. We'll leave the super babying to the babies for the most part. They can keep entertaining us with all their actions and movements. But then you're going to scoot your way over to the left because we just got to give it a try on the other side. So you'll come from flexion, curl in, to extension, stretch out, back to flexion, and then extension, roll over to the right. Super baby. Yeah, there it is. Very super pole. I love it. And then you're going to roll back over. If you guys need some coaching on this, you're like, man, my super baby really sucks. Just come hang out with Ashton. We'll give you some pointers. Come back onto your back. Widen your feet but bend your knees. And you're going to take that windshield wipering of your knees side to side. And you're going to let your knees land over to the left. Just relax your arms any which way. If you want to pick up your left foot and set it to the outside of your right leg, you can, but it is absolutely not necessary. Turn your head to the right. Bring your breath across the rib cage completely, fully. Feel the rise of your abdomen on your inhale. Feel its release as you breathe out. And then if you have your foot crossed, do go ahead and release it. You're going to tilt both knees over to the right. If you're adding that right foot to the outside of the left leg, please do so. And then turn your head to the left. And just be very cautious not to hold the breath here. Sometimes when we are doing a hip stretch, that's when our breath can get stuck the most. Uncross your legs, lift both knees up. And as you come back to center, narrow the feet just a touch, pick up your hips, almost like you're moving a bridge, but then lay them back down again so that you have them in just the most ideal central position. And then arms come in alongside of you. Now actually come up to a working bridge pose. So you're gonna start to work the shoulders in nice and close. You can certainly work the hands in to interlace if that's something that you like to find. But if it is sacrificing anything else about the shape, skip it. And then just ask yourself if you feel strain in your low back or your hips. And if you do, I want you to lower the hips just a little bit. Try a slightly broader stance through your feet. And then maybe pick them back up another inch or so. Roll your way down. Let your arms untuck. Work your feet in close together. Stretch your left leg straight down long on your mat. The right knee is going to come in and across with the help of your left hand, spinal twist. And the best way I can describe this is create this shape. Create it with your breath, create it with those little movements to find just the right alignment for your body. And then settle into the stillness. You know, as you come back to center, take a hamstring stretch for your right leg. So you're going to take the foot up high, hands come to the back of that leg or to the foot itself. Enliven your foot enough that you are actively participating in the stretch. Take a couple turns of your ankle around very slowly. In case you are wondering, am I actively participating in the stretch? This will probably give you that feedback that you're looking for. Breathe. And then release the length of your right leg out onto your mat. Feel the difference between left and right legs. And then when you are ready to switch sides, left knee comes in across, the spinal twist. Excellent. Pulling the leg across, letting the hip roll as much as is safe and healthy for your body. And then create it, carve out the shape for yourself. And then as you come back to center, hamstring stretch for your left leg. Couple of turns of the ankle, a lot of breath. And just picture that you could be the Tin Man right now, and you could have Dorothy or the lion standing next to you with the oil can. And it's just giving your joints some extra lubrication. And then release your left leg all the way out. Perhaps outstretch your arms up and alongside your ears if that is inviting. Anything else that you need from your practice prior to Shavasana, whether it be happy baby or shoulder stand. Or another hip stretch. Make yourself very comfortable. Listen to what it is that you need. Good. We're just wrapping up class. Sorry, I'll tell you this. As you continue to just reside here in this stillness in your breath, perhaps revisit that person that came to mind that might need a little extra breath, a little extra love and support, even if it might be from afar, even if that person never ever knows that you're sending it their way. Begin to deepen your breathing. Begin to reawaken your body with a little movement through your fingers and your toes. And taking this transition almost in that baby mindset of all of the new discoveries that you have ahead of you. At each time that you wake, each time that you open your eyes, there's a newness, there's new things to discover. Take a very deep breath in, hold it at the top, and then exhale it out, no holding back. Take a little time to stretch here on your back before you make that transition of new discovery back to your seat. And while we old dogs might not be able to be taught new tricks, we certainly can take advantage of seeing the world through a different lens from time to time. So as you come to your seat, you can close your eyes, you can open them, whichever you feel most comfortable doing. Bring your palms together. Bring your thumbs up so that they're just right out in front of the very top of your breastbone. And then bring the base of your thumbs to your third eye space at your forehead. Breathe a deep breath in, exhale it out. Take another deep inhale. Exhale. Just one more time, deep breath in. A gentle bow as you exhale in honor of this practice that brings us here together. Thank you for trusting me as your teacher this evening. Namaste. Thank you very much, y'all. Thanks for being here. Just a little announcement. We still got a few weeks before this event, but we've got Yoga in the Square coming up on September 9th, I think it is, Saturday. That weekend after Labor Day. So that will be Saturday morning, 9 a.m. We're welcome to join us. Invite your friends. It's a free class. It's a good time. And we just like to close out the summer in the square, kick it off and close it out. And I will not be teaching the regular Saturday morning that day. So take care. Have a great weekend, y'all.